So let's announce the winner of the CX Impact Award in the category of Impact on the CX Profession. And the winner is, drumroll, Steve Walker, the chairman and CEO of Walker. So Steve, I want to bring you into this broadcast. Congratulations. Welcome. I want to ask Ismail, though, first. Ismail, as you reflect on Steve's entry and Steve's accomplishments, what really stood out to you?
Thank you, Gabe. When I was looking at Steve's application, obviously, Steve, in the first place, he's the third generation of the company that actually working on CX domain. So it's suddenly that stood out. And then when I deep dive exactly the work that has been done, all the episodes, if I'm not mistaken, it was around more than 170 the podcast that he's been kind of publishing to educating the people. So these are really tall orders, let me be honest with you. And then when I look at the comments that a lot of people, they watch, listen, and learn from him, and it was all positive. And then I was able to see how he was able to change people's lives, minds, and behaviors. And these are the areas these are the things that I've seen. And again, congratulations, Steve. It is very, very well done and good job.
Yeah. Congratulations, Steve. Your application, your final response, you reflected on great many ways that you've really helped to advance the CX profession. But a center point was you talked about your work on the CX Leader podcast, and specifically you spoke on your tagline. It's a great time to be a CX leader. So could you talk a little bit about the origin and meaning of that tagline?
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Gabe, and thank you for your kind words, Ismail, and congratulations to all the winners and all the nominees. I am truly honored and humbled to just be part of this group today, and happy CX Day to everybody. We started our CX Leader podcast, and we thought it might be, a great marketing tool for us, and I think it has been ultimately. But what really more emerged was just the kind of the celebration of our profession. And, frankly, I kept getting guests on the show, and I talked to them, many of them like our practitioners here today, just talking about what they were doing in their company or how they were changing lives. And I just, it just kind of came out organically one day. I said, well, you know what? It's a great time to be a CX leader. And, I just started saying it. Now it's kind of like part of our shtick, I guess, that we do on the show. But it really is an amazing time to be in our profession. And, as kind of a student of the history of our business and having been around a long time, I go back to before there was a CXPA and before our profession really was well defined. And, I remember sitting in meetings and industry meetings for years talking about when are we going to have certifications and when are we going to have standards. So I just really feel lucky to be a part of this industry and to have survived and worked long enough to see it mature to this point. And, I think we're only starting to scratch the surface. You hear the stories, and, the story of Hilal is so inspiring. And then just to see all the nominees around the globe, it's just very, very gratifying, having spent, almost 40 years now in the profession. So thank you for everything.
Yeah. Fantastic reflection, Steve. And I want to ask too, because, CX Day is a time to celebrate, and then also to think about how can I make a bigger impact? And maybe that's impact in their organization. Maybe it's, how can I help impact and grow my career? But just wondered, what advice would you have for CX pros who are listening right now, who are wondering, how can I make even a bigger impact in the year to come?
Well, the other thing we do on the podcast is I always ask my guest for take home value. And that's sort of something that they could take back to the office the next day. I guess I would just share that, despite, I actually, Leandro used the word resilience. We do face sometimes some headwinds and some uphill climbs in our efforts to try to make our organizations more customer focused. But I think the cause is just. And so the effort is worthwhile. And I think that, as long as you do something with the right intent And I think that customer experience pros are really trying to help their companies succeed by providing great value that customers value and are willing to pay for. And then you put in the good effort in the long term. The organizations that are successful are going to be those that are the most customer focused. It's just the way that the world has emerged. And I think the world's better for that too. So our profession is noble and our cause is just, and do not let any of the negative stuff get you down. Just keep hammering away at it. And I think, again, just the whole concept of what we see today is the result of those who've gone before us. And we're just really lucky to be here at this point in time as CX pros. It's a good time to be a CX pro, by the way, if you didn't know that.
Absolutely. And you're getting some agreement here. Farah says, being in the CX industry gives a great boost to happiness hormones as you work to serve customers and make their experiences memorable. So
I wish I would have said that.
That's great. So Steve, thanks for serving up a lot of happiness hormones through your great broadcast, through your commitment to moving the discipline of customer experience forward. So congratulations again.
Well, I'm honored, and thank you very much again for this great honor.